Let's run.
Alright, everyone ready?
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Fan Fever. I'm Maz.
I'm Jake.
I'm Blake.
I'm Audrey.
And I'm Logan.
So today at Fan Fever, we're going to be talking about sports fan culture and how it has become a part of people's identities to this day. Whether you're part of a city, a region, or you're just a fan of a team, it's become a community where people come together, they watch sports, and they have fun. With these teams and these communities, there's been rituals and traditions made, like according to Watch Mojo, there's the New Zealand rugby team that has the greatest tradition in sports, where they have a pregame slap, which intimidates other teams that they're playing. So that's a huge part of sports as well, rituals and traditions. But there's also, recently, there's been commercializations of teams on social media platforms, especially with social media being a big thing today with Gen Z, where 32% of sports fans, and more specifically 43% of Gen Z fans, are on some sort of social media and follow teams on social media, according to Greenfly.
What kind of teams or what kind of like medias do you think? Like House of Highlights, Barstools, and then there's like Aggie Barstools. There's OU. I mean, you know.
Well, that's what's so
schools.
cool about Barstool. Is
Yeah.
There's one at every like it's caught on
Pretty
so
much.
fast.
And it's grown and it
Every
knows
school.
how to hit that college.
Every school.
Oh,
really has a
everybody
Barstool.
loves their Barstool too.
Oh yeah, you see. There was one guy that streaked on the baseball field with a Darth Maul mask.
Oh,
That's probably my favorite A&M baseball or A&M Barstool post. It's just like
know that they would.
That's
It
funny,
was
that's
crazy.
funny. I didn't see
that was probably my favorite.
Do y'all know? Do they do like Dallas Cowboys Barstool, Arizona Cardinals? Do they do that? I don't know.
I think it's like fans do that. It's not like an official like
Yeah.
part of their like the Barstool organization,
I was
but
always wondering that.
that is a part of the fan culture where fans make Barstool accounts for their teams.
And I think that's what goes into the college aspect of it is for NFL or NBA, like it's a little more professional, and you definitely have those meme pages, but for college sports, it's a bunch of 19, 20, 21-year-old kids that are running these sports accounts, and so they kind of post whatever they want, and so it's kind of cool to see.
No limit.
Yeah.
No
That's what they
limits.
want to say.
Dude, the funny thing is, like, I'm a Rams fan, and I saw they posted, like, after their win, like, the first picture that they posted, like, on their, like catalog of posts for, like, Instagram was a meme. Like,
That's
so
awesome.
I think they're just doing that to, like, appeal to, like, younger people, because NFL, like, obviously, there's gonna be kids, like, looking up to players and, like, watching, like, oh, I want to be that guy whenever I grow up. So,
100%.
yeah. But after that, you got like sports fan culture can either be positive or negative in a sense. Positivity, it brings people together to watch a sport that they love. And negativity, it can be almost like a cult, a toxic cult, where there's rivalries, there's negative interactions between athletes, and even negative interactions between fans. I was talking to Logan earlier that I was at the LSU A&M game, and I saw an LSU dude straight up sucker punch an A&M fan in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
One of the craziest sights I've seen.
Yeah, that can get up to another topic in the culture of being a sports fan is, you can get really vested and you can turn to being a diehard where you can have high levels of emotional attachment. You can go so passionate, and I found an example by NinerTimes.com, and they say when sports fandoms turn really bad, it can result in smack talk, fighting, and in severe cases, death. Many wonder in the faucet of sport, is it too dangerous, and if there is a solution to the violence? And do you think, like you said, in the LSU game that just happened, people are fighting. There's also a lot of crime rates that can grow in from a night because visiting fans
Yeah.
come to the home team, and there's bar fights, larceny, theft, trespass, and criminal destruction. And I mean, the list can probably go on,
Yeah, I think, like, because you asked, like, is there a way to stop it? I feel like, because in the moment, people get super invested in the games, and they're like, oh, I can't believe this happened. And I feel like people can't take a step back and, like, take themselves out of the situation and be
I
like,
just feel like you gotta hold people accountable. Like if you know like they're gonna crash out after the game, You gotta like make sure, you gotta hold them in check.
I mean, that's why there's, police in Northgate and the Bar District, 6th Street, everywhere you go, there's gonna be those people that have protection, but, you can't always have protection everywhere you go. There's gonna be things that go uncalled and stuff like that,
100%. I mean, if you take like specifically the LSU game for example, I don't know if y'all remember, but they're going on the announcers talking about how it's like there's like 2 minutes left. We're obviously gonna win the game. Police start coming from all the way in the stands. They start going down to the base of the field
to stop
people from
jumping.
going. They go, hey, please don't storm the field.
Yep.
Now, since we are a classy, Southern hospitality, and we acted like we'd been there before, we whooped LSU's tail at home.
Yeah.
We weren't even gonna rush the field because
We did it in
We didn't-
2024.
yeah,
We don't
hey,
need
it's,
to do it
this is
again.
this is yeah, this is not a this is it's a job. You wake up, you go in,
It's
you
supposed
figure
to
it out.
win.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be like
Now-
surprised.
Yeah, and we got it done 2 times to us, like in a
Past
week
3
span.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 3 days, we got stormed on by South Carolina on Saturday, and on Monday night against UCF. And if we're gonna get in that, Buzz Williams should not have scheduled. First time in 20 years that we've scheduled
An away game.
an away game for
It's
opener.
ridiculous.
It's insane. We were
That
not
was
ready.
such a trap game.
Buzz Williams is a great coach,
Yeah.
or no, sorry, great leader, awful basketball coach,
Right.
without a doubt. And that's where the diehard comes out, and I'm sure y'all can see that right.
I also want to cover one more little topic on the fan rituals of Texas A&M.
Oh yeah.
And how, what do you think are some rituals, that differentiates Texas A&M's fans from other people, other schools, like from Tennessee, Florida? Like, what are something that makes us
Definitely bonfire.
okay? Like bonfire.
Midnight Yo.
Midnight all day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
We don't really have official bonfire, but there's still student
Yeah, student
bonfire. Still a lot of people go.
I think like some schools do this,
So good.
but I think this shows like you were saying like vested fans, A&M's have vested fans. Like we stand the entire game.
Right.
A lot of places don't do that. They stand like, oh, if it's like 4th down, if it's a big
It'd be
moment in
fun
the
to
game.
get up.
Yeah, then they're like, oh yeah, but we're on our feet the entire game, showing our support.
I also think that if you look at other colleges, what are 90% of, and that's a estimate, but like most colleges on a Friday night at midnight or from 11 to midnight, they're not in their home team's football stadium, passing it back, standing up, getting rowdy. I mean,
Yelling.
we clear an entire side of the student section, almost all the way up to 3rd deck, especially for those
Notre
like,
Dame game, it was third.
yeah. So like depending on the game, you can have anywhere
Texas game is gonna
like
be.
what, like 50,
I can tell you, I actually
40,000.
40, like around anywhere from
Y'all
30 to
heard
40,000 at midnight,
word
Yeah.
for word, research from OUDaily.com. These are some guys from OU's sports fandom that come down to A&M and see what we do on a Friday, and they have actually found 30,000 to 40,000 fans on average show up to Midnight Yell. So with that saying, you're waving towels, you're choreographing, that's what other people are saying, but more of that yelling and waving towels that is our culture. We do that to make that stadium loud, and we do have the biggest, not only the biggest stadium, we have the loudest stadium.
Hey, Stadium Pulse 1, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Right.
NCAA 25 ranked us the #1 hardest stadium to play at in the country.
Yeah.
There we go.
If you play the game, you know it's
Yeah, it
Yeah,
matters.
yeah.
It matters. There's no audibles. You have no idea what you're.
shaky routes, everything.
Everything. You're playing with athletes that are like almost as big and as strong as you, maybe even better, and you're playing for a future, so you're gonna hit hard. You're gonna tackle hard. You're gonna throw hard. You're gonna run the hardest you could ever play. So
Except for
full
South Carolina.
endurance. There you
It's
go.
okay, we're gonna bounce back. Gonna win the rest of the games.
Yeah, we are.
Mike Oakland's got us. Hopefully.
please.
Who's ready for a topic now?
I think Jake's about to rip one.
You ready?
Yeah, I
Let's
got
do
it.
it. Throw it out.
So, there's 3 different levels of fans. There's 3 different types of fans. There's the social fans. So, for example, like they'll just show up for big events like the World Cup or like Super Bowl. They'll just show up like.
Or watch.
Yeah, it's just for like the kind of like the
it's just like
experience.
it's just like they come for fun.
I'm not
Yeah,
keeping up
like-
with any stats.
No, they don't care. They just watch it.
But I'll watch it when it's
I
on
feel like
TV.
I feel like that's also like like people that go to B-dubs or like bars.
Yeah,
and just
no,
kinda,
they're just watching or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
they're just there just for the vibe, really.
Yeah.
I think World Cup's a great example because I don't know personally, I
Everyone
dislike
wants it.
soccer, or not dislike, but I can't stand to like watch.
No,
Like, I'm not
yeah.
invested.
I'm
Like
So
just a
you're
run-of-the-mill
yeah.
game, like it's just
Yeah,
like
like,
It's
it's
kinda
not my
boring,
thing.
kinda boring.
I'm fast paced. I played, high school Texas football, baseball. Like that was my thing. Loved it.
Yeah.
Soccer, my feet a lot worse than my arms. So, but I watch World Cup every year because that's that American passion. So
Yeah, it's like
love
the
that.
chance that USA can make it. Like I'm watching it.
Oh, all day.
Yeah.
I don't know a lick about soccer. I'm like, why is
Keep that-
why is
keep
the
that
time
ball.
going up? Like I'm lost. I'm like, so
Run,
ability.
score.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. And then there's focus fans, so it's like they'll support like there's like team. They're actually like gonna support their team. They'll actually have like teams that they support, like Manchester United, Real Madrid.
So I'd say like
Yes,
I'm a what did you say that fan was called?
Like focus fans.
I'm a Focus fan for Texas A&M.
Yeah, it's
I
like-
buy the gear, I wear it. I
Not
don't
try
go to every
hard, but,
game.
like-
I don't post
Yeah.
every victory on my Instagram or Facebook. I don't call mom, tell them. But yeah, I
No,
see
when
it
you
as a
go to the
focus.
games,
I'll go to the maybe a popular game
Yeah,
as being
sure.
a social fan.
Like they're not deeply emotional about it.
No.
No.
I can't. I'm not on the
It's just
field.
like they're like it's
It's
whatever.
not my
you know.
fault if we lose.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
can't.
bro.
You can only do so much as a fan, especially if we're at if we're doing an away game. We can't like for a South Carolina game. There's not much that you can do. All you can do is sit there and watch and hope for the best.
So is there a type of fan that is the person that goes to the away games and home games?
Oh yeah, so
Post-
that's the vested fans for sure. They're gonna be
see.
like the word is vested, invested. They're gonna be at every single game, no matter what time of the day it is. 11 a.m. game, they're gonna be there. Like in these soccer fans in Europe, they have different names for the fans. So they have for Liverpool, they're called the cop. So like they all have like different names for the fans. It's weird. Like we have the 12th man. We're called the 12th man.
That is
Yeah.
very true. Very true.
Soccer,
Some might say. Allegedly.
Soccer has names like that as well.
Dude, it's crazy. Like that Seattle has the same thing. That's
Yeah,
that's
Seattle.
what
We had to give them the rights to use that.
Yeah,
The
it's
12th
it's
man, right?
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 12th.
Because they.
I bet we made a
Yeah.
lot of money off of that. So.
Because I know that there was like some research about the decibels in their stadium once, and it was like the loudest ever at an NFL stadium. But NFL stadiums are nowhere near as big as college football stadiums.
I wonder if they stand
Not
up the whole
ours,
game
yeah.
though, or they just.
They
just
have paid seats.
they probably sitting down though. They're not standing up like.
I will say they do have some nice if you go to a non-divisional game and you get standing room only. Like I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I know you can hate all you want.
Me as well. Me as well.
But which has been rough recently. I can get it. We could be here for another hour. But standing room only, it's like you can get like $30 for a non-divisional game, and
Yeah.
for an NFL price ticket, like
That's really good.
it's pretty good. And not saying that I did this,
Cheaper than an
but
ticket.
you start with the standing room, and then
You walk to the
not every stadium's full. So
A lot of people leave at halftime too.
yeah, it's just I think there's a different type. You got your diehard fans, but it's definitely a lot less than college because just like age-wise, the times that the games are on, they're on weekdays. Sunday, like
Monday,
they've claimed a full day.
Thursday. Sunday.
Yeah, Monday, Thursday, Sunday.
I wonder why though that some people leave games early and some don't. Like
Beat
at
traffic.
8 a.m.
Teams losing.
At all the A&M games, I go because I'm a senior, so we go down for boot line
Mhm.
at halftime,
Mhm.
and I see all the fans just leaving. I'm like, what do they pay for the ticket for? Like, what do they waste their money for?
Like what game?
Like every single game, they're leaving at halftime. LSU game, like thousands of people leaving at
Maybe
halftime.
those are social fans and they want to
Right.
beat traffic and they're
Well,
not as invested
Yeah.
as
There we
others.
go.
Maybe
a rough.
But for me, it's not like
Game.
I literally could walk back to my dorm. It's not a big deal,
Yeah, and I think that also calls into question
It's
the
like-
different types of motives that each
How far behind
the sports spectator has.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different motives that
Wow.
that fans can kind of have whenever they're getting invested into a sport. I mainly know that in the context of Formula One because that's the sport that I follow the closest. So There's the motive of aesthetic beauty, so that's kind of like you're appreciating the beauty of the sport in general. So with F1, that's kind of, you can appreciate the design of the cars and what they look like and how they kind of move around the track and how they can go around it. And there's kind of an aspect of how, you know, the drivers that are risking their lives, but we don't have to risk our lives to watch the sport.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting in that way.
It's kind of an art form in a way.
Yeah, like-
That's what I think of it.
I was watching the Olympics this summer, and like whenever you said aesthetic beauty and like in sports, I just thought of the Olympics. It's the best of the best competing for their country, and like in Paris this year, which is it was beautiful. Even though they had I think it was like a lake that they competed in, and people got sick in there.
Oh.
That's neither here nor there. But they had the ceremony before the Olympics. It was beautiful. There's like a horse that was riding on the water. It was awesome.
I have a question. So, as far as like motive goes, for me, not a F1 guy. Like,
It's an acquired taste.
right. So like 8,500, 500 laps,
Yeah.
right? So we're looking at it there. Everyone starts off saying, 500 laps. How long does it normally take? Like,
8,500 lasts for a long time.
okay, can I just tune in for the last 5 laps and then like,
I like,
like my bet.
Yeah.
I want to know who wins because that's cool. It's such a big event. There's like an entire like week leading up to it. Like there's all these events. They do carnivals and all these cool things. But like, I don't even want to sit there and watch cars driving circles for
Yeah.
500 laps. So
Totally is acquired.
definitely
Yeah.
acquired taste.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I like how you say the aesthetic of it and like how these they build the cars with these aerodynamic designs and I mean the constructions and like how they build these cars and they go 0 to 60 in like maybe 1 to 2 seconds and they drive up to 230 miles per hour.
Ridiculous.
500 laps. These dudes are calm, composed, and collect, just going and going and going. So like, I can see, you're driving it and you're doing it for the money, but like you said, in the interest of being a fan,
Yeah.
maybe a social
They're
fan, maybe
crazy.
even behind that.
Athletes for sure.
You are watching these athletes for a certain reason,
all
for an
day.
have you
interest.
seen their training? It's like
Oh, yeah.
They get G-force.
It's like
Yeah, it's
it's like the pilots.
Their
They-
necks.
They have to train
They have, like,
their
the
necks,
neck-
train their
the
necks.
neck.
They're
Yeah,
pulling,
yeah.
they're
They go
pulling
like
like
this.
70
That's crazy.
kilograms
That's
into their
cables.
necks.
That's insane.
They have to do like really crazy conditioning training as well.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
grab the sticks
Oh,
that fall
yeah.
down from
Oh, that you got the carnival game or whatever?
It's
real.
It's gotta be insane.
Another one of the motives is like the achievement. So whenever you feel accomplished, whenever a team wins. So like whenever my favorite driver has a good weekend, like it makes me feel good. Like it'll make me feel happy for the rest of the day. Like it kind of boosts the mood.
Don't they pop champagne bottles?
Yeah, they
Host
do.
Prosecco and
They
Ricky
have
Martin,
full
Dom Perignon.
full ceremony.
I know for sure this weekend, especially after Monday as well, kind of ruined my week that both A&M teams lost.
And the women's team lost too. Like, what is going on?
I was
Really?
We lost-
I was yeah, we lost
And
our
Corpus
one of our
Christi.
sister schools at home. I was at that game. It was awful.
It
The
wasn't-
percentage was like 99%.
Wasn't the best weekend for me in F1 either, so I was kind of suffering all around.
Everything's going downhill.
It also kind of ties into like the drama aspect, the drama motive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you experience things, you can experience enjoyment or just complete dread from watching a race or watching a game and stuff that happens in it, and even like the narratives behind the scenes. That's like a big part of F1 right now. There's a title fight going on. You don't really know. You have a guy in first place and then a guy in second place that's really catching up to him, and so there's been a lot of drama going on back and forth of whether is he going to catch him, is he not? Because I mean, one good weekend for the guy in second place can knock the guy in first place right out. So there's a lot of behind the scenes kind of drama
Yeah.
happening with it.
Also, is the prize pool, is it based so I'm a big golf guy. Is it like the same where from 1 through 10, each of them get a certain amount of money, and then from there sections 10 to 20 they get
For the
certain-
teams, yes, because
Okay.
there's 10 teams in the sport. Like obviously, first place team they get the most money.
right.
So on
140 million.
as it goes
First place.
further down, they get
10th
less
place
and
is
less and
60
less.
million.
So you're right. You
Yeah.
could lose and make 60 million. Yeah, that
Yeah.
really sounds like an awful.
But you're not really. I feel like you might not be making because the investment
Right,
that
those
your
cars,
whole
yeah.
team has to
No,
invest
yeah, it's gotta be
wages.
split up.
Like you're paying. A team.
Yeah,
They
you gotta
start-
pay for it too.
This guy's got contracts they gotta pay for.
Yeah.
I saw an F1 car out there. Yeah, but I mean, everyone's obviously shooting for the 140 million because that comes with sponsorships, TV
Yeah.
revenue. I mean, it comes with
More
a lot of
Oh, yeah.
stuff. You were first place. You have more. You have more
Everybody
traction.
wants to-
People want to
everybody wants
see
to
more
know
of
that.
you. You're a big name now. You've got a good brand, and that is projected more. And that 140 million can almost double and triple within the years of you winning. So I mean, it is big. It's very big. But I wouldn't be bad in 10th place.
I think that's kind of what Audrey was talking about, the drama. Like, also what you were talking about, Blake, about tuning in. You want to tune in the last 5 laps. That's where the drama happens. That's
Yeah.
where the money is won. That's where the titles, the fame, the acknowledgement, everything. It's all in one.
100%.
And it kind of ties into the drama. Another motive can be the escape of it. So that's you remove from day-to-day life and then you kind of give everything into this one sport. So that's another thing of giving into the narratives. So there's a lot of escapism in figuring out what driver is going to go to what team. If their contract just ran out, where are they going to go? Is there going to be something expected? Are they unexpected? Are they just going to have to retire from the sport? Like this season, there's been a lot of mid-season replaces. So, I mean, you have people that are getting thrown out of their job unexpected just because of one bad performance. And so that's kind of all these narratives that you can really invest yourself in. And then kind of along with that is some people just, their motive for sports is just knowing about it. They might not know all of the drama, but they're gonna learn about the sport and learn about the things with the people involved in it and all sorts of stuff like that.
Like how the cars are made, what
Yeah.
really differentiates one team from another team. I think especially with someone who might not be as team driven, if we talk about team's culture and if you break down the embodiment of a team that, let's say myself, I really love one sport, I love football, but I'm also an Aggie. That's where you kind of break down the tiers. It's am I just an Aggie football fan or am I an Aggie fan? Whereas it doesn't matter if they're doing equestrian. That's my ride or die. By the way, we are national champions in
Be
equestrian.
judging too.
Yeah, we're
Or
insane.
robotics.
Yeah.
Almost in baseball.
Honestly, kind of want to take us back to what Jake was kind of touching on. I found a different set of tiers for fans and fan culture. So from what I've read and researched from NeuroLaunch, back in 2021 they did a study. There's basically 3 different tiers. You have your A tier, your B tier, and your C tier. So it's kind of ranking the different types of cultures that a different sports team can have. A tier is diehard, all the way. Those are the guys that they don't care what sport it is. That's their team, that's their school.
Vested.
Very vested.
Okay.
And then you have your B tier, which your casual fans, kind of the same as what Jake was talking about. But one thing that I really liked about this article is talk about bandwagons. That's the C tier. It's guys who
Social fans.
Social fans, you have guys who have zero connection.
Maybe they just
love
like a
the
player.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Chiefs
Warriors.
fans,
Alabama.
Patrick Mahomes.
Kelsey Swift. Oh my God.
It's bandwagons are insane.
Dude, Swifty Chiefs fans.
It's crazy, and I don't think bandwagons get enough hate because it's disrespectful.
It's despicable.
Yeah,
It's really despicable.
I think guys that ride or die with their team, even being a Lions fan for the past 20 years before the past
Pays off.
past 3 years, Lions have been on the come up. Dan Campbell's killing it. You look at the 20 years before that, awful. And atrocious. It's just
Dan Orlovsky.
yeah.
That's
brutal.
They went
It's brutal.
0-16 whenever they had 16 games.
You had the Saints who had Drew Brees winning Super Bowls less in this decade. and now 0-7 just fired the
Just
coach.
fired the coach. Yeah.
Like,
Now they
Who's
have a
that,
guy with
right?
Rizzi as his last name as their head coach.
I'm starting to second guess my level of like where I'm at as a fan because I mean when I was growing up my dad went to UT so I was always a Longhorns fan. I mean I was diehard and look where I'm at now, you know?
yeah, that is.
Does that make me a bandwagon? No.
No,
Probably
no,
not.
because now you're here.
But
Yeah.
did I go to UT games? Did I keep up with the player stats? No, I did not at all. I never do. With sports, I've never really been too vested or
Yeah.
A tier. I've always been at the B, focused-ish, or social. I just, I don't really profit off of it. I don't have any businesses. I don't do sports betting. I don't keep up with it. I don't have any, whatever you call it when you put a bet on something. I guess just a bet, you know?
Parlay.
I don't,
Yeah,
I don't have
parlay.
parlays.
No, yeah,
I
don't
don't
start
do
now.
bookies.
It's not-
No problem. I'm not.
Stick with what you're doing.
There's one guy in my outfit, he bets on every single A&M game. So it's either you.
That's my one
really
rule.
big.
My
or
one
really
rule
bad.
is I will never bet on A&M. It's bad. It's bad juju. It's bad juju. Because I don't like. We could, beat OSU at home when they're favored. Could have made, a good amount of money. We would have lost if I bet. I'm just telling you. Like I'm not like it's not all about me, but we would have lost.
You got sports superstition.
No, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
karma.
I mean, those are the type of sports fans. Like, I mean, you talk about like you grew up at, going to Texas games, but like
Mm-hmm.
we're, casual fans, and there's different types of fans out there. If
It's
we
hard
talk
to put a
about,
cap on one, you
no,
know?
yeah,
It always change. It's always like evolving.
It's
and-
also different sports
Different
that could be
sports.
different
you could
involvement.
be diehard
It's-
football,
yeah.
and you could be, casual baseball.
Yeah.
Like, you still love, A&M, but you might have grown up playing football, or you might have grown up playing baseball, and you're gonna tend to watch and enjoy one more just based on kind of just what your preference is.
So back to what you were going with, off our tangent.
There's one of the last motives that people can have as a sports fan is the social connection of it. So the desire to interact with others and other fans. So that can be seen through different fan communities. I know whenever I went to the F1 race in Austin a couple weeks ago, there were different meetups. They had a friendship bracelet trading thing where you could make bracelets and trade them with other fans. And then there's popular communities on TikTok and Twitter. There's popular creators that have gotten famous through being an F1 fan online. And then there was also a big Netflix show that came out a couple years ago, and there's been a couple seasons of it, and that definitely brought a lot of new fans into the sport. CNBC did a little poll, a little study, and they found that more than half of the Formula One fans that they surveyed credit the Netflix show Drive to Survive as the reason that they got into Formula One.
Wow,
Interesting.
that's wild.
That's
Half?
really good. That's really
More
good.
than half.
Wow.
They should give royalties for that.
Yeah,
Whoever
and
made
it's
that.
crazy because the show isn't the most accurate either.
Really?
It's probably the glitz and glam of it,
It
and
is.
everyone's just like, oh,
They
I'm gonna go watch
they'll
that.
take radio clips from a completely other race and play it over something that's happening.
Oh,
And so I'll watch
To
it
fit
like
the
that's
narrative?
yeah, I'm like, that's not what happened there.
Imagine doing
that's
that.
awesome.
Imagine making it's just a random football game, and then you just have the commentators from the LSU A&M game.
That's literally what
They're storming the field.
It's like
That's
it's
what
like
they
the
do.
74-72 football game against LSU.
7 overtime.
Yeah, and they play that over the one where we beat LSU just most recently.
That was,
Yeah.
It
that
was
was
like,
the
yeah,
coolest.
he's win the game of the year.
That was the coolest game I've ever been to in my entire life. I actually
Wow.
got to go to the 7 overtime game.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
that's gotta be a crazy.
Funny story. We actually, I'll say this one story and then we can start wrapping up. But we're in the stadium. We had just turned the ball over. Kellen Mond throws that pick.
When his knee hit the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was
everyone
amazing.
leaves the game. My entire section, everyone's starting to walk out. This is the first time and now I was in the student section. I was a little kid. My parents all right, we gotta beat this traffic. So we're starting to walk out the stadium. We get outside the stadium.
Oh.
We hear the call. It's us and probably I'd say almost 5,000 people are leaving the stadium. We hear the call. His knee's down. It's not an interception. The game still has a chance. We're watching it from the outside. We score that touchdown to take us into overtime. I've never seen Aggie fans work together so hard to get back into a game in my life. Because once you're in the stadium, you can't come back
Yeah,
in.
that's supposed to come back, yeah.
Let's just say we all watched the rest of the game from inside the stadium. So it was a lot of fun. But it was awesome. I'll never forget that game.
Yeah, you can't stop that many people from.
No.
There's no
But
shot.
luckily, it's getting closer to the end of
Yeah.
the game, so the security plummels off a little bit. They go to like 20 to like 16.
They're like, we're not paid enough.
And
to
security
stop
comes
this
to watch the
many
game
people.
too. They have to come watch the game too.
Probably
because,
at that point. I mean, it's overtime. They're
Yes,
like,
at the end, like you have to prevent people from, or try to prevent people from jumping onto the field, which I did
good
they?
luck.
Did they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely stormed the field.
Oh,
They also
They did in 2022 LSU game
they
too.
changed the overtime rules in college football because of that.
Because of that, yeah. 'cause-
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but no, not as many points are scored now.
Yeah, now it's
Unless you have like
It was like a, I don't know how wide.
like Miami versus some other high offensive scoring team.
like Miami's.
Dude, Miami's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, that was it for Fan Fever, guys. This was sports and fan culture. Catch us next week. We don't know what topic we're going to be talking about. We'll let you know. But that was me, Maz.
Jake.
Blake.
Audrey.
Logan, it was great to talk to you.